Hey everyone! Oh, that's a creaky mic stand. And guess what? I actually remembered to switch to the live scene. So instead of us, going through the first monster here halfway through and me not remembering, I did it this time. What do you know? Just to verify, okay, the input is going through. And yes, Clawpaw, population growth. How's it going, everyone? Good to see you. Let's see here. We've got here one other viewer in, so it's great to see everyone. At the moment, we have one request so far from Joe Math. He requested the Is it Zachetl? Is it Zachetl? Whichever one this is from Out of the Abyss. So we'll be looking at that one. And then after that, whatever you guys have requests for, we can take a look at those next. Otherwise, we'll just go through this list of anything I haven't looked at yet. Pretty naughty, yeah. How's everyone doing tonight? My family and I, we just went out to see a house full of Christmas lights set up to like work with music and whatnot. So they have a shortwave radio that they pump music in on like 93.5 or something. So that was pretty cool. And then we did a little bit of Christmas light watching and drive-bys and saw some of the other houses in the area with lights up. It was a nice little night, even though it's raining. So still had some fun there. All right, I think I don't really have anything else to talk about, except for at the moment my job is getting a little busier for me right now. So I will, for the time being, and I'm not sure how long I might be cutting this off, but for the time being, I'm going to cut the live stream recap videos and just focus on the shorts while I also deal with my job and taking care of some big projects that are coming through. Clawpaw, hey Big A, have you already taken a look at the flying snake already? Yes, I have. The flying snake is a shorts video. Let's see here. Studio. Let's take a look here. Flying snake. Yeah, it's just a shorts for the flying snake. We haven't actually broke it down, but if you'd like, I can add this in as a live stream feed. Vanderi, hey, how's it going, bud? Haven't seen you in a while. Great to see you here. So yeah, if you want, we can definitely look at the flying snake as an item here. And we can see why in the past my one player died from 2 flying snakes. Oh, excuse me. Monster manual somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. Oh, there it is. Hey, Lorendar. Yeah, Lorendar knows exactly what I'm talking about when Icky fell to the flying snakes. No. I won't miss the game. It's just I have to focus and balance and juggle a few things, so I won't have as much time to work on some of the videos. So the one thing I'm gonna cut for now is the live stream recaps, because let me just show you really quick the difference between the shorts and the live stream recaps here. So if we go to the content, you'll see that the live stream recaps, the Hobgoblin Warlord here, 39 views. All the Gem Dragons, 36 views. Let's see here. What else? Let's go down to a really well-known one. The Quaddle, 44 views. Meanwhile, Animated Armor, 2,153 views. The Flying Snake, 1,000 views. Heck, even the Death's Head of Baal got almost 800 views. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut the live stream recaps for the time being, saving myself some time so I can also focus on work website stuff. All right, let me see here. Population growth. I've got 2 things you can space out. Sea Hag and Kuatoa. Indeed. All right, so let me throw those on the list here. Sea Hag and the Kuatoa. I don't remember exactly how to spell that. Let's see here. Oh, there. Oh, it's with a hyphen. Kuoto. Okay. Oops. Kuotoa. Come on, let's get the 0 out of there. All right. Clawpaw, let's see. By the way, did you know that you can summon up to 8 flying snakes with the Conjure Animal spell, and even 32 if you cast it at 9th level? Yeah, that's a nasty spell. So, with what we know about the flying snake, having that summoned as a Conjure Animal spell is a little overpowered. And Vandari, I have a homebrew dragon if you're up for it. Nothing super hard, just a variant. Yeah, if you want, definitely you can send that to me, either through the email or the form, the Google form. Any homebrews can be submitted at 8bitmonsters@gmail.com. All right. And let's see here. Anything else? Oh, Clawpaw noting the homebrew. Okay, let's jump right into this. Let me get the first one here. The is it Zatchitl? I don't know. Whatever. Hopefully I can get the name later on. Nope, I won't be able to. Okay, it's Out of the Abyss, page 225. I think I have that book. Let me see here. Yes, I do. Okay. All right, let's get this set up. Come on. Okay, that should be good there. And let's get right into the monster, the CR tool here. I'll reset it from whatever I was working on there. And then, what did I say? It was 225? Okay. 226 probably. So I'm just going to shorten this to is it, because I'm not really sure how else to pronounce that, but that should work for the time being. And it looks like is it has a very small stat block here. Variant Darrow Savant and some other stuff. I wonder, yeah, that must be from the other thing above. All right, so there's nothing really too much to worry about here. And yeah, okay, so it's just the base one that Joe Math wanted. Okay, so we can easily take a look at this one. It's supposed to be a 1/4, so I'll throw that there. All right. So we have the, is it Zatchitl from Out of the Abyss. Should be a CR 1/4. And let's see here. 15 AC, small aberration with, let's see here, 4d6 hit dice. And we'll have to take a moment because my cat is crying to come in. Oh. Come on, bud. There you go. Get inside. Okay. And let's see here. What do we got? Oh, the cat. Hey, Josh, how you doing? The cat's name is Pumpkin. That's the one that just came in from outside. And as I said before, it was raining. So, of course, he's going to rush in. And let's see here. The first one, Vandari. 8-bit monsters. Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Get rid of the S on bits. It should only be bit. Sorry about that. Let me fix that. Yep, there we go. The second one's the correct one. And what did Clawpaw say? Hey, what's your favorite D&D language, and what's your favorite school of magic? School of magic, probably either divination or necromancy, as it's a little personal to myself for various reasons. I like the divination just for the fun of it, being able to potentially foresee the future and look at the past and whatnot. As for the necromancy, I do a lot for a while, and I still do it from time to time. I do a lot of tech repair stuff. So for a while, I was fixing broken video game systems, and I was repairing Game Boys, Game Boy Advances, Game Boy Pockets, Sega Game Gears, even consoles like PlayStation 1s, modding them up, PlayStation 2s, I was trying to learn how to mod, and I was just repairing stuff and bringing it back to life. So in essence, I like necromancy because I know how to bring technology back to life. So in essence, I would be a technomancer if that one was available. As for D&D favorite languages, I guess Sylvan, a little more on the exotic side. I would probably save that one. Beyond that, I don't really have much of a preference because I like to switch it up with every character I have. All right, let's finish up this the is it here, and we were just doing the hit dice. So we were at 4d6 hit dice, and then we have for stats we have 12 strength, 16 dex, 13 constitution, 12 intellect, 13 wisdom, and 7 charisma. Yeah, that's some deep up Andrew lore for sure. And then let's see here. After that, we don't really have anything else for the is it for skills or monster traits. So this is going to be pretty quick besides our reaction and the action here. So we have an action of bite, which is pretty straightforward. 3 to attack, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we're doing 1d6 plus 1 for its bite, which I'm surprised they didn't do anything for dexterity since the dex is so much higher. Interesting. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and throw in the strength bonus there for 4.5 damage, which, you know, we can move that down into the attack number 1. And then we also have reactions of barbed tail. When a creature provokes an opportunity attack from the is it can make the following attack instead of using its bite. Melee weapon attack, plus 5 to hit. Reach of 5 feet, 1 target, 7 damage coming from its dex bonus. Okay. Yeah, curious. All right, so as for a reaction attack, let's see here. When a creature provokes an opportunity attack from the is it. Oh, I see. So in theory, it's whatever would be moving away. They can use this barbed tail instead of the bite. So that's interesting. We have a +3 and a +5. We could technically average out the attack bonuses here and go with a 4. Let's see what happens there with a 4 for the two averages, and then we'll do both damages. So then the barbed tail would be 1d8 plus the dex bonus for a total of 7.5. So then we would just put that down into attack number 2. Oh, let's not ruin this form there. And then all of this would be, well, we could say it's a multi-attack because we could get in the attacks of, you know, the bite and the tail possibly. And then if we just simply do the multi-attack in air quotes, both the reaction and the action, times that by 3, we're potentially looking at a CR1/2 if the reaction is going off all the time. If it's not, let's remove the reaction and we're just focusing on the attack instead. Then we're seeing a CR1/4. So provided the is it doesn't get the reaction in, we have a CR1/4. If it's getting it in every time, and if we just look at that as a 3 here, we have it perfectly balanced. It's a, I would say, this is a versatile monster, thankfully. Well, surprisingly, the CR was technically underrated if the reactions happen there, Bandari, luckily. So, yeah, looks like this is a pretty much even rated monster here. Like I said, I'm not going to repeat myself. We'll just move on from there. All right, so let me take my note. And we evaluated that. Its DCR was 1/4. OCR was 1/4. Found 1/4. Even rated with an asterisk. If reaction goes off every round, CR1/2. Otherwise, it probably will just be a CR1/4. So if we look at this real quick one more time and we only add in maybe one round, like let's say, for instance, one of the 3 rounds we get the attack in, and we just add in that 7.5. Oh, wow, yeah, we're still seeing a CR1/2. So if we get any reaction with the is it, then this suddenly becomes a CR1/2. Good to know. All right. There you go, Joe Math, if you watch this later on. there's your monster from Out of the Abyss. All right, let's see. What did we have next? We'll go back to here. And next we have the Flying Snake. Reviewing that one because I haven't done it as a live. And let's see here. The Flying Snake. Oh, gotcha, Vandari. Okay. No worries, no worries. So let's see here. Flying Snake is on page 322 of the Monster Manual, of course. Monster Manual. Ooh, where are we going? There we go. Let's throw that up there. And that was 332, so probably on 333. Let's see, is it here? Nope. Where are... Oh, 322. Whoops. I'm a little too far. So 323 should be... There we go. Flying Snake. Supposed to be a CR 1/8. Josh D asking about the Barovian Witch. Barovian Witch. Let me see here. That is Curse of Strahd 229. Sure, let's throw that on there too. If we can get to it, we will take a look at it. COS. What did I say? That was 229. Okay, cool. You got it, Josh. It's, what is that? Number 5? Yeah, we should be able to get to that one, no problem. All right. Oh, let me fix this. I don't know what happened there. Put that back. Hit the reset button once more. All right, so we're going to take a look at the Flying Snake. This has been done as a Monster Shorts, but just for the sake of review, we'll get to see why this isn't actually a CR 1/8. Okay, Flying Snake, tiny beast, should be CR 1/8, which I'm already going to tell you right now it's not. With 14 AC, like I said, it's supposed to be tiny, and it has 2d4 hit dice. With the following stats of 4 strength, 18 dex, 11 constitution, 2 intelligence, 12 wisdom, and 5 charisma. We have nothing here for monster skills to worry about, but we do have flyby. Now the thing about flyby is that it provokes, well, besides the fact that it doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity, it also doesn't do anything for the monster's CR. So we can actually skip by flyby and go right into the bite, which is the only thing that our little Flying Snake has. So right off the bat, it has a crazy +6 to hit, coming from, let's see here, should be 2 for the proficiency bonus, and then, sure enough, +4 from the dexterity modifier. So right there, that's a problem, having an insane dexterity like that. And then after that, we have 5-foot reach, and one target gets dealt 1 piercing damage and 7 poison damage from 3, what was that, 3d4? So sure enough, the bite is there, and then we would have 3d4 for the poison damage. So we have 7.5 for that, and we'll just go ahead and add that in there. And then our multi-attack, or our full damage, is just going to be the 1 point of damage plus the poison damage, and then we will just take the full attack from the bite and multiply it by 3. Yes, Lorindar, as he knows, murder snacks. So we get 25.5 for all 3 rounds of combat, which will work out to be 8 average damage. And we have a CR 1/2. Now, it's not absurdly high. You know, like maybe we're thinking maybe CR2 or CR4. But when your players are level 1, or for that matter, level 2, and they're expecting a CR 1/8 monster, and I mean, sure enough, with only a few bits of hit points, that poison damage does a lot of work. And we're looking at what should have been a 1/8 here, moving up to a CR 1/2, and, you know, our players at level 1 and 2 have no more than maybe 20 hit points in most cases. The players are going to go down really quick, and unfortunately, as Lorindar knows, what was the bird's name? I can't remember the bird's name. The Aarakocra. The Aarakocra unfortunately died pretty quick and failed all the death saving rolls as well. So let's see here. Vandari, if you ever wanted to TPK your party early on, send a swarm of these things. They're actually CR 1/8. Yeah, swarm of them. Oof, yikes. So this is why it's very important to be careful with especially like poisons and all these rider damages. I'm not entirely sure how this one got through for dealing a total of 8 average damage from the poison. And the poison, there's no save against it. If it had a save, then we might be able to deal with this a little easier, but yikes. I mean, it's just straight, on average, 8 damage. That's absurd. And then we end up with the CR 1/2. So, yeah, TPK party for sure if, you know, you have too many of these. And they're rated at technically CR 1/2 here. Okay, moving on. Wrong page. There we go. Next, we'll take a look at the Sea Hag. And let's see here. Sea Hag is on the Monster Manual. CR2 on page 179. Okay. Let's see here. I didn't do the Sea Hag yet, I don't think. Let me just get down to it. There we are. Thank you. All right. So, what did I say it was on? 179, so it's probably 180. There we go. Sea Hag. Night Hag items. And there's our Sea Hag. Now, because this is a hag, we could potentially also use it in a coven, but I'm not going to look at coven rules. I'm just going to take a look at the Sea Hag just as a CR2 and not worry about coven rules for this. And with that, we have Lauren Dara. Oh, I just remembered one I'm curious about. Swarm of Rot Grubs from Volos, if you've got time. Sure, let's throw that on and take a look at it. I'll come back to that in a second when I can write it down somewhere. Okay. All right, so our Sea Hag, medium Fey, CR2. So let's throw that in there. With, let's see, 14 AC, medium as I suggested, 7d8 hit dice, and it has the following stats of 16 strength, 13 dex, 16 con, 12 intellect, 12 wisdom, and 13 charisma. So that'll give us the 52 hit points on average. And then let's see here. Kalapa says, damn, this crazy, this some crazy hag. Looks cool though. Yeah, this is the first time I think I've seen the artwork for the Sea Hag. Let's see how it works out though. All right, so after that, we've got all of our base stuff down. We have no skills to worry about. We have our CR2 in place, but let's take a look at our monster traits. Now, the first thing we have is amphibious. Straight up, can breathe water and air. Cool, doesn't help us with the CR. Let's skip that. Next, we have horrific appearance. Now, we can throw that in here, and we actually have a spot on our list for horrific appearance. It's also known as horrific visage from the Banshee, but it'll do the same thing because it's fear. Let's see here. Creatures have to make a DC wisdom save. Any failed, they do, they're frightened for 1 minute, and so on and so forth for that, which will give our Sea Hag extra 25% hit points and resulting in plus 13 effective hit points because of the fear. After that, doesn't look like there's anything else for this to go on, but let's see here. There's a bit of a rider, so let me finish reading this real quick. If the creature saving throw is successful, doesn't work in the next 24 hours. Oh, hey, buddy. I've got another cat with me. Unless the target is surprised or the revelation of the hag's true form is sudden, a target can avert its eyes and avoid making the initial saving throw until the start of its next turn. The creature then averts its eyes, has disadvantage on attack rolls against the hag. All right, so that's pretty standard. No, that's weird. That's like the first time I've seen that rider for the frightened condition there. Yes, Vandera, I see that. Yeah, we'll also get the dragon in place too. While I'm taking a moment here, talking that out. I didn't want to lose that, but I'll come back to it in a minute. So we've got the dragon from Vanderi. And the rock grubs. Swarm of rock grubs. Okay. All right, so we don't really have to worry about the frightening stuff, but it just gives us, a little bit of extra information about you know, oh, avoiding the eyes and whatnot. So let's take a look at the actions for our Sea Hag and see what we have here. Oh god, yeah, oh boy. All right, so we've got the Death Glare again. Oh no. Yeah, you weren't kidding, Vanderi. So that's what the deal was. It was just a copy paste almost, but higher CR. Ugh, yikes. Okay, so we have claws, 5 attack bonus, and that's dealing 2d6 plus 3 slashing. So we'll do 2d6 there, and the 3 is from strength for a total of 10 damage for attack number 1. After that, Death Glare. The hag targets one frightened creature she can see within 30 feet. If the target can see the Sea Hag, it must succeed on a wisdom save or drop to 0 hit points. Okay, so here's my recommendation for stuff like this. 1 second. My cat is going after plants. Come on, bud. No going after the plants. I know you're bored. And that was Dexter. Okay. The lore is the Sea Fury basically ate her Coven sisters and took their powers. Oh, wow. I didn't read the lore on the Sea Fury, and that's pretty intense. Yeesh. All right, so for stuff like this, for the Death Glare, this is what I would do. This is how I would approach it. Look at where you might expect players to fight this Sea Hag, potentially as not necessarily as a solo monster, but maybe where you would see them for, a group monster. So just fighting a couple hags together. Let me get Volo's guide up and potentially look at it or Xanathar's guide, not Volo's. All right. So we'll go to Xanathar's real quick. Oh, good, it's here. And go to the encounter building table. And I would look for CR2 and see where we might best be fighting players at. So we could put 5th level to 7th level players up against a Sea Hag at a 1-to-1 ratio. So 1 5th to 7th level player against 1 Sea Hag, and then you could throw in a couple other hags and work that out however you want. Now, since we have a nice range of 5 to 7, I would say look at 6th level players and look at the average hit points for all of those heroes. And I hope I may still have... Do I have that saved or not? There was somewhere I had a website that just gave me player hit points. Let's see here. 5e class hit points. I don't remember. Here we go. 5ehp.com. It just gives you hit points. So we're going to say level 6 for all classes, right? And we're going to go with a custom, the modifier of, let's say on average, most players will have a 2 for their constitution modifier, all right? So the artificer would have, let's see here, 6. And let me go back to somewhere I can do this quick. Actually, do I have... Yeah, let's use this down here. Okay. So the artificer would have 45. Barbarian would have 59. Bard is 45. Cleric, 45 as well. Druid, 45. I wish I could remember all these. It would make it so much faster. Fighter, not actually remembering the numbers, but remembering like, oh yeah, the monk will be 45 as well because it's got a D8 for hit dice and whatnot. Paladin, 52. Ranger, also 52. Rogue, 45. Sorcerer, 38. And then Warlock and... Alright, so 45 and 38. Alright. And then what I would do is say, okay, let's average out... Nope, I don't want rank average. I just want to... There we go. Average all that out. So we get a total average of roughly... let's see here. 46 hit points, right? For level 6 players. So in theory, Death Glare could be doing somewhere around 46 effective hit points for this ability if they get a player at full hit points. So for the time being, I'm going to suggest that Death Glare does about 46 hit point or 46 damage from using that ability. And then next we have Illusionary Appearance. The hag covers herself and anything she is wearing and carrying with a magical illusion. Yada yada. The changes wrought effect holds up against physical inspection. For example, the hag could appear to have claws, but someone touching the hand might feel that her hand might feel the claws. Or have no claws. Okay. So we don't really need to worry about illusory appearance so much, and we're just going to work on working out, getting the fear, and being able to see what happens here. So the fear is happening every round, right? And we have, in theory, well, if the fear is happening every round because players are within 30 feet of the Sea Hag, we could just use the Death Glare every round and not have to do anything special about it. So we could just go straight up, take the 46, multiply it by 3, and if the Sea Fury is lucky enough to get Death Glare every time, although with a DC 11, probably not, we're looking at a CR4 for the Sea Hag. Now, if we don't get any of the Death Glares and we just focus on, let's just do the claws instead, that would be what, 23? Then we have a CR1. So what is the combination we're looking for here? Probably 2 claws and 1 Death Glare that's successful. The problem being is if it's not successful, then there's a big problem there. Sure enough, at least from average 46 hit points, if the Sea Fury is able to get 1 Death Glare off and doesn't try again, and instead then goes into claws, 1 Death Glare every 3 rounds and 2 claws every 3 rounds, we should have ourselves a CR2 Sea Hag. Of course, this depends greatly on if there's any frightened players, how far away are they, and if they're going to fail the wisdom save or not. And like I said, with a DC 11, there's a chance, I'd say there's a very low chance of this failing. I mean, the dice will ultimately depend, it all depend on the dice, but there we go. Who knows? So CR2, if we do 2 claw attacks and 1 Death Glare, just to reiterate, because I tend to repeat myself. All right, so let's see here. What do we have here? 1/2 and 3. So we go 1/2, 3, found 2. I'll asterisk that. And we'll say CR1 if all attacks are claws. CR4 if all attacks are Death Glare. Okay. So there's our Sea Fury. Or Sea Hag, excuse me. Now let's take a look at the Kuo-toa. And where am I at here? Okay. Okay, they're on page 199, so probably 200. Yep. Easy enough. Okay, so we got a big stat block here, and we're looking at 1030 so far. Okay. Let's keep trucking along here, and we'll take a look at the Kuo-toa next, which is a CR 1/4, well, it's a Kuo-toa. And hey, Joe Math, thanks for making it. We took a look at your request earlier on. It was the first one I looked at for the Is It? And I think it was it? Yeah, it was technically underrated if the reactions were also going off. Oh yes, Justy, the Kuo-toa is got some crazy good lore. I loved what's the Forge guy there? He did the lore about how they're just crazy god dreamers or something. So much fun. Oh, population growth. Sorry you missed it. The Hag, it depends. The Hag can be rated from CR1 all the way to CR4, depending on if... Actually, we can go even lower. Because if if the Death Glare fails, then it'll drop even further. But CR1, if you only use claws. CR4, if you get 3 Death Glares off and they all succeed, basically dropping all the players to 0 hit points. Otherwise, to get the CR2, you would want to do 1 Death Glare and 2 claw attacks for 3 rounds of combat, and keep doing that cycle of like, okay, Death Glare, round 1, claw for rounds 2 and 3, then round 4, do a Death Glare again, rounds 5 and 6, do your claws, and so on down the line. That's if you want to keep it even rated. It's up to you how you handle it from there. Excuse me. Kuotoa, slavery by mind flayer. You're welcome, population growth. I have to look into some of the lore for what you said there, Joe Math, just to catch up on that. I have to have a lot of lore to catch up on. I love deep diving into lore. Okay, Kuotoas, back to where we were. 13 AC with natural armor and a shield. They're medium. They have 4d8 hit dice, and they have, let's see here, 13 strength, 10 dex, 11 constitution, 11 int, 10 wisdom, and 8 charisma. After that, we've only got perceptions in the skill for perception. Doesn't really matter, so we'll move on to our monster traits here, and we have amphibious, as we saw before. Doesn't matter for the Kuotoa, doesn't affect the CR. We have otherworldly perception. The Kuotoa can sense the presence of any creature within 30 feet that is invisible or in the ethereal plane. It can pinpoint such a creature that is moving. Again, cool feature, doesn't affect the CR. So we'll move on to slippery. The Kuotoa has advantage on ability checks and saving throws made to escape a grapple. Pretty sure... Ooh, excuse me. I'm pretty sure that has no effect as well in the CR, so we can skip past slippery. Let's see here. Joe Math. Could you actually make a CR for player characters? Yes. Yes, you can, Joe. And actually, that's something I've been looking into doing, because a lot of people are always talking about how their players are overpowered. So it's really just a matter of talking to your players and asking them what would they do in the first 3 rounds of combat fresh. At their total, like if they have complete advantage and they're assumed to have victory or the better winning conditions, or, you know, if they set up traps or whatever, I wouldn't necessarily look into using traps unless that's something they always do, but you can CR your players. It totally works just like for monsters, but some of the class skills and abilities could be a little tricky, so you just got to really think about certain things that are going on there and what they can do with it. Alright, so we had slippery, doesn't matter. Sunlight sensitivity doesn't matter as well. That's a check blank. So we can actually just jump right into the actions and reactions for our Kuotoa here. And we'll see that our Kuotoa has a +3 to hit, so we don't have to worry about modifying that. No multi-attack, but does have 3 weapons: bite, spear, and net. And the bite is 1d4 + 1 for a total of, what was that, 3.5? So we'll do 1d4, and then +1 for strength for 3.5 there. The spear, on the other hand, will be wielded one-handed because it's also got a shield. And that is going to be 1d6 + 1 for strength as well for the spear attack. And then also has net. A ranged weapon attack, +3 to hit. 1 larger or smaller creature. The target is restrained and can use its action to escape, so on and so forth. Now, because this is something on its own, I wouldn't necessarily... Well, we could take a look at that to see how it works out. If we sacrifice 1 round of damage, of DPR there, for the bonus, potentially. But for the time being, let's see what it looks like with just raw damage, and then we'll come back to Sticky Shield after that. Joe Math asks, or says, first cast teleportation to the inn, second action, buy a drink. That's for sure. I think you're, that sounds like the what was it, the Pally portal from World of Warcraft. They bubble and then hit the Hearthstone. Alright, so we also have reaction of Sticky Shield. When a creature misses the Kuotoa with a melee weapon, the Kuotoa uses its Sticky Shield to catch the weapon. They make a strength save. the weapon becomes stuck to the shield, and then if the wearer can't or won't let go of the weapon, the wielder is grappled. While the weapon is stuck, while the weapon is stuck. While stuck, the weapon can't be used. A creature can pull the weapon free. All right, so this is definitely going to happen, the sticky shield reaction. So for that, we can definitely put in the constrict bonus here for grappling with the sticky shield. Definitely got that right off the bat. We might be able to say even more than one player potentially could be affected by this. But for the time being, we'll just go for one and see where we're at once we get to the overall damage here. So we've got attack number 1, which is the bite, which we probably won't use unless we somehow lose the spear. Number 2 will be the spear. And then that's it pretty much. And then we could potentially get one more bonus AC for the net if we are able to capture someone. At the moment, I think I'm good for tonight, Joe Math. Because as we're at halfway through the list, and I still have 3 more to look at, and we've got roughly about 20 minutes left or so. I might go over or past 11 to see if we can get all the way through this. But definitely keep it on, or hit up the request Google form, and I can always throw that into my list later on, which is usually always about this long here. All right, so what are we going to do for our rounds of combat for the Kuo-toa now that we've got all of our weapons worked out? Well, simply enough, we're just going to do the spear since it does the most amount of damage. Multiply that by 3. And we have ourselves a CR 1/4 Kuo-toa. Now, just for the sake of it, what happens if we decide to throw a net on round 1 of combat? Well, if we throw net, we'll switch that to 2 rounds of combat there, and then let's add in 1 more AC for the net restraining it. And surprisingly enough, we still get a CR 1/4. So you can use the net, no problem, on round 1 if you want to throw that on some players to try and capture them. Which is cool. Perfect. So either way, toss the net on round 1 or don't, you're still going to end up with a CR 1/4 monster. Nice. All right, let's see here. Let me take my note for that. And where was it? Kuo-toa. All right, so we got that, and okay, so it's either 1/8 and 1/4 or 1/4 and 1/8. Doesn't really matter. Oop, wrong one. There we go. Net on round 1 still works out to CR 1/4. Cool. All right. Next we have the Barovian Witch from Curse of Strahd 229. Let's see how we do there. Curse of Strahd. Let's throw that in. And we're looking for page 230 probably. Sure enough, we have ourselves a Barovian Witch here. So let's zoom in and get over to the stat block. All right. Oh, thankfully, there's not too much going on here. Oh, it's only a CR 1/2. Wow. Okay. I was expecting this to be much more difficult. Okay, let's see here. Barovian Witch. Yes, Joe Math, I guess. It has a few in caps. Not sure what Josh is saying. What he means by that. I think it's underrated based on this. Oh, from the spell casting. Yeah. Let's see what we get. Let's see what happens. Let me get right into it. Okay, so we're looking at potentially a CR 1/2. And 10 AC. Wow, okay. Oh yeah, there's no, just wearing no armor. Okay. 3d8 hit dice. We've got 7 strength, 11 dex, 13 constitution, 14 intellect, 11 wisdom, and 12 charisma. After that, we don't really care about anything here. So let's jump right down into the monster trait of spellcasting. She's a wizard, so that's fine. We have Mage Hand, Prestidigitation, and Ray of Frost for cantrips. Then we have Ray of Sickness, Sleep, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and then we also have Alter Self and Invisibility. Okay, so the important ones are going to be Invisibility, Ray of Sickness, Sleep, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Now the question is, which one is going to be better? Tasha's Hideous Laughter or Sleep? Let's see here. Alright. Let's go over to my spell damage lookup table, which is kind of new. And let's see, we've got level 1. I want level 1 spells. Okay, so there's Sleep. And Sleep is worth 10 effective DPR. But we will be targeting 2 creatures. So we could say 20 effective DPR for Sleep. And then also Tasha's Hideous Laughter would be the same. So Sleep and Hideous Laughter would both work off of 10 effective DPR. But let's see about Ray of Sickness here. Ray of Sickness is 13.5 DPR. So technically, Sleep and Hideous Laughter, or at least Sleep, I think Hideous Laughter, maybe Hideous Laughter is only 1 target. Alright, so Sleep would be the better option, because Sleep, if we can get 2 creatures, let's see here, Ray of Frost will be the primary one, I think, since Sleep doesn't affect elves. True, but we can't bank on the fact that we would have elves in our party. Now, obviously, every party is going to be unique, Joe Math, so we would have to wait, and we would just have to go with the idea that Sleep will work regardless of the group composition. Results will vary if you do have elven players of some form. So I'm going to put over here Sleep for 20 effective DPR, which will be the better option for that. Ray of Sickness was 13.5, which is handy. But I'm looking for a concentration spell right now. What would be the best concentration spell? Invisibility, let's see here. Invisibility would be worth 13 effective DPR. Even though I'm still seesawing about how to use invisibility properly. So, round 1, I would say, well, somewhere along the lines, Sleep, wherever you can. Only invis. Yeah, oh, I think we just got a new subscriber. I don't have speakers going on, so I just heard the subscriber bump there through my headphones. For superior invisibility, yes, Joe Math, but not regular invisibility, because regular invisibility requires an action. And let me pull that up real quick, because it comes from the monster manual, and that's the problem. Let's go down to 280. Oh, I got the wrong... I pulled the monster manual, not the DMG. There we go, DMG. Let's go to that real quick. Oh, that's the important chart here for the new chart I'm going to be using for updating effective DPR. So let's see here. Invisibility. Where is it hiding? Up here. So here's the thing, Joe Math. Invisibility, like the imps have, it's got a dash. And unfortunately, we don't get the standard +2 effective AC like we do from superior invisibility, which is right here. So because... I think it's only because superior invisibility is done with a bonus action, we don't get the AC bump, but we could potentially use it as effective DPR. Just yeah, it's one of the incapacitate effects that's the best DPR. Call Paul picked up on the new sub, and I know that there's a different with invisibility and superior invisibility. Yeah, that's the only thing. So when it comes to regular invisibility, I would just go with the effective DPR rather than worrying about trying to find some kind of proper AC. If anything, if you want to give invisibility an AC, I would say just give it +1. Since superior invisibility gives 2 and it's done as a bonus action, you have to waste an action to cast invis, generally before battle. But if you're doing it during battle, I would say +1 AC, effective AC there. So... oh, shoot. Did I... no. Where did I... did I literally... oh, man. All right. Hold up. Where is my... hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Can't believe I lost my monster thing here real quick. Okay. And everything seems to be good there. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think Pixie is in action. I don't know. It's weird. I've gone back and forth with people about it too, for the Invis and Super Invis. Alright, so for the time being, we could potentially use... yeah, let's see here. The DMG. Where... somewhere it read as an action or... that's weird. As an action or a regular one. Well, if the Pixie is also... let me see here. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that then, because now we have as an action and not a bonus action. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with that, Joe Math. I'm still back and forth with this darn ability. Okay. Going forward, let's see what we can do here. Ignoring invisibility for the time being and just using sleep, let's see what we get here for the Barovian Witch. Using sleep as a potential to knock out 2 players, possibly. We also have claws. Let's see here. Requires alter self to use. Or the dagger. So, what does more damage then? Oh, and the alter self. Let me see something here. Is alter self a concentration spell? Yes, it is. Oh, wow. Okay. So then Ray of Frost is our target spell. And Ray of Frost will be doing 1d8 damage because, let's see here. She is a, what level? 3rd level spellcaster, so we wouldn't be getting... Alright, so 1d8 would be 4.5. Yep, for that there. Yeah, if you find something on that, Joe Math, let me know, please. It would be super helpful. Yeah, so Claws and Ray of Frost do the same. We don't have to worry about concentration for that, and we'll have a +4 to hit for Ray of Frost. So if we do sleep on round 1, and we concentrate on sleep, and we have 2 players knocked out at all times, we'll have 20 effective DPR there with sleep. After that, we'll have 4.5 for the Ray of Frost, plus the 20 effective DPR we're still concentrating on for rounds 2 and 3. And we could possibly see, by knocking out 2 players and focusing on the one that's still around, and just to verify, sleep, is that concentration? Pretty sure. Oh no, it's not concentration. Oh wow. Oh no, we could make this even worse. Wow, okay, so round 2, what else could we do? We could do invisibility, but that would be pointless because after you do an attack... Yeah. 4.5, that's a 2-player party, yeah. Hopefully we have more than 2 players, but, you know, whatever happens with sleep. What would be next then? Ray of Sickness. Oh yeah, Ray of Sickness. We would even go past Ray of Frost and do Ray of Sickness for, what was it, 13.5 damage? Yeah, 13.5 damage there. So we could make this even worse here and say this plus sleep. And we're now up to, oh yeah, all right. So we're still a CR2 monster, but you know, with an AC of 10 and only 16 hit points, hopefully battle with the Barovian Witch doesn't last that long. Yes, sleeping is all hit point based, so in theory you would try and target monsters or players that have the lowest amount of hit points. And since this is a CR 1/2 monster, that shouldn't be too terribly hard to do. You know, you would hopefully find maybe the rogue or a sorcerer and wizard or something in the background and target them with sleep to knock them right out. Again, it's a best case scenario for this. So if we can get sleep right off the bat, best case scenario, we could see upwards of a CR2. And then we do 2 rays of sickness after that. And as well as having the effects of sleep through all 3 rounds of combat. Oof, this is bad. But if we can't get sleep off until later on, let's take a look at that real quick too. So we'll do the ray of sickness twice. And then by turn 3, we can finally put someone to sleep. Oops. Now we're maybe seeing a CR1. Josh D, I think you might be able to get more targets with incapacitate with hideous laughter. That's probably true. And if that's the case, then we can just say the same thing rather than sleep. Let's see here. Hideous. I wasn't sure if hideous laughter was 1 or 2 target, or 1 or 2. Let's see here. A creature of your choice. Yeah, it's 1 target, unfortunately, from what I can see here. Yeah, so that's the problem. Tasha's hideous laughter is 1 target, where sleep could be anywhere from 1 or more targets. Hopefully 2, in theory. And they would need to be weak. Of course, if the party is made up of all just, fighters and paladins, then sleep's not going to work. But if you have maybe a druid, a fighter, and, a warlock, you might be able to get the warlock and the druid. Who knows? Yeah, it's possible. But anyways, we could see anywhere potentially up as high as CR2 for the Barovian Witch. Depending on how things work out. More than likely, I would say probably more like a CR1, but still underrated because of that ray of sickness as well for the damage and being able to do all that. So let's see here. Let me go back and take a note of this one. The Barovian Witch. We have 0 as high as, what was it? 4, possibly? Underrated for sure. Okay. So that's more or less the Barovian Witch. Let me pull up my email here and take a look at that. I think that will probably be the last one since we're a few minutes left here before 11. Okay, Gmail. Ooh, this be a big one. Let's see here. Layer and layer actions. Okay, we will just look at the night scale itself without the layer actions. Oops. Get in there. Ooh. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay. Joe, let's see what you got here. After some reading, try to look at the effective of superior invisibility. Some are like the invis spell, some are greater invis spells. Fairy Dragon is the greater invis, but the imp is the invis spell itself. Just D. I was mistaking hideous laughter with hypnotic pattern, which is AoE. Ah, there we go. Yep. Vanderi, yes, it's a big boy. I see that. CR14, so let's see what happens. Okay. Reset the tool. And we'll go from there. So we have ourselves Night Scale, a huge dragon. So we'll throw in huge. And it's supposed to be a 14, so we'll get that done now. Indeed. Let's see here. So we got 19 AC, 17 D12 hit dice with the following stats of 23 strength, 14 dex, 21 constitution, 14 intellect, 13 wisdom, and 17 charisma. We then have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 saves. So that gives us +2 effective AC bonus. We've got some skills, damage resistance to necrotic, that's only 1 condition, as well as immunities to acid. So since we have only 1 condition for both the resistance and immunities. We're going to skip those. And we'll get right down into the monster traits. Clawpaw, CR14. Oh yeah, mean a snack for the level 6 party. For sure. So we got Amphibious. We'll skip that. Living Shadow. While in dim light or darkness, the dragon has resistance to damage that isn't force, psychic, or radiant. Okay. So we do actually want to add in damage resistances now, because we are expecting the best case scenario for a monster, and the dragon should then be counted as always being in dim light or darkness. So we'll go ahead and throw that in. We then have Shadow Stealth. While in dim light or darkness, the dragon can hide. So we have Shadow Stealth over here, which will give us +4 effective AC bonus. And then we have Sunlight Sensitivity. We can skip that, doesn't matter. Legendary Resistance of 3 uses, giving us 90 effective hit points. And Innate Spellcasting of Blindness, Deafness, Misty Step, and Rolitham's Psychic Lance. Okay, is the Lance an actual spell, or is this a custom spell? Oh, no, that's a normal spell. Okay, this is it's a new one. Okay, that's why I don't recognize it. And what does the Lance do? Shimmering Lance of Psychic Power. All right, so you can see when the relative creature's name, target. All right, so this is one. Thank you, Vandera. Yes, Fizzbands. The target must make an intelligence save. All right, so this is one target for this Lance spell. And I'm going to put it in the lair action, since we're only going to look at, excuse me, we're only going to look at the dragon itself and not lairs. So we're looking at, let's see here, 3.5 for 76 times 7. And then what else do we have? Psychic damage, and is incapacitated until the start of the next turn. On a successful save, the creature only takes half damage and isn't incapacitated. All right, so incapacitated, like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, is a level 1 spell, so I'm going to add in 10 effective DPR for that ability. So we're looking at potentially 34.5 damage for that spell. And then we also have Misty Step, which I really don't want to hunt. Oh yeah, what is Misty Step actually? Misty Step is what spell level? 2nd level spell level. So at the moment, Misty Step could be worth 13 effective DPR. I think that changes and gets a little higher to, I think, 16 once I make my updates. And then Blindness, Deafness. What is that one? Blindness, Deafness spell is 2nd level. All right, so that's also worth, 13. All right, now let's jump right into the actions here, and we'll go from there. So the dragon uses its Frightful Presence because it's over CR 14 or over 10. We're not going to get anything from Frightful Presence because it caps at 10. And then it will make 3 attacks, 1 with its bite and 2 with its claws. Okay, so we've got a very traditional dragon going on here. And the bite, claws, and tail all have +11 to hit. Okay, and the bite, let's see here. The bite is worth 2d10. And would be 6 for strength for 17. Okay, plus 4 necrotic damage from 1d8. Okay. And then our claws, let's see here. The claws are going to be 2d6 plus 6 for 13 there. And the tail is 2d8 plus strength as well, I'm sure, for a total of 15. Okay, so that's all of that. And then let's see here. All right, so we've got our bite attack for a total of 21 points of damage. The claw is 13, the tail is 15. And our multi-attack is the bite plus 2 claws for a total of 47.5. Yeah, another way to defeat dragons? Give treasures. Indeed, that's the easy way to do it. And then our Frightful Presence doesn't do anything, unfortunately, but we have a Shadow Breath, 5 to 6 recharge. And let's see here. Dex save, taking 54 points of damage. So we'll throw in 12d8 for 54. Perfect. And that attack will be times 2, because we're expecting at least 2 failed saves And if I could add in the multiply times 2, that would be excellent. There we go. For a total of 108 damage for our Shadow Breath. After that, we have legendary actions of Detect. The dragon makes a wisdom save. So legendary action 1 will just be zilch. Nothing there for that. We could do tail attack for legendary attack number 2. Since that would only cost 1 point, we'll take the tail attack and multiply that by 3 to show us what could happen for the full round of combat. And then the wing attack is, let's see here. Looks like a standard wing attack. So 2d6 plus 6. Oops. 2d6 plus 6 there for 13. Perfect. And we would do that 2 times. So we'll take the 13 for 2 failed saves, possibly. And we'll also, and we'll also add in 1 tail attack for what we could do there. So, surprisingly enough, between the wing attack and the 3 tail attacks, we're pretty close. But because we're looking for raw damage now, we're just going to go with the actual tail attacks here. Now, looking back at the spells, because we want to see just raw damage for the dragon, we're going to ignore the spells. Because our breath weapon and our multi-attack are much higher in effective DPR here than the spells could potentially pull out, or actual DPR as well. Excuse me. So for round 1, obviously we would want to use the breath weapon. And then we would also, on top of that, add in our legendary 3 tail attacks for a total of 153 there. And then rounds 2 and 3 should only be multi-attacks and the tail attacks as well. And we would just copy for that there. We're seeing a CR20, Vandary. This is very typical of dragons. Especially if they're copied from... If you copied this based off of dragons from the monster manual, I'm not surprised to see this, to be honest. This happens all too often with dragons. But from what I understand, D&D and Wizards want dragons to be absurdly underrated. So, here you go. here's your dragon for this CR. Originally, we were expecting CR14, but we found a 20. So let's update the CR14 to 20 and see if anything changes there. Okay, so now the resistances drops down to 1 times the hit point. So now that we know it's a little higher, the CR comes down from 20 to 18. So now we have a CR 18. It's really important when something like this happens and you have resistances and anything else that could modify the hit points to update the CR. I'm glad I caught that. So now let's go to CR 18 and see if that moves again. And of course it doesn't. It's an adult black dragon with the shadow dragon template. Okay. Yeah, that makes total sense then. Perfect. So now that you know, Vandary, your dragon here, Night Scale, should technically be a CR 18 if you follow these patterns and get these kinds of numbers here. Joe Math says it's not really that deadly if your characters are really lucky. Remember, dragons are smart. Yes, they are. We have an intelligence of 14, which is definitely higher than the average commoner. Let's see here. Vandary, look at what it does if a creature drops 0. Won't affect CR, but it's nasty. What are we talking about, Vandary? For the lair actions? We got, let's see here, lair actions. Pool of water that the dragon can see when... glitter? Grasping tide. Any creature within the ground succeeds the same throw. Oh, the breath weapon. Oh, okay. Let me finish reading the breath weapon. The dragon exhales a stream of concentrated shadow. Creatures make a save. They take necrotic damage. Okay. A humanoid reduced to 0 hit points by this damage dies, and an undead shadow rises from its corpse and acts immediately after the dragon in initiative count. The shadow is under the dragon's control. Oh, that's terrible. Yes, the breath weapon. Thank you, Lauren Dar, as well. So yeah, we get a shadow coming up from that, which does the strength drain, and can be even nastier. So yeah, if we have some players going in expecting a CR 14 dragon and come out with less party members, we'll know why. True. Yeah, technically they won't be dead. They'll just be undead. We got that to look forward to. But thank you for sending that in, Vandary. It was fun to look at, and hopefully I didn't go through it too fast, and everyone could follow along how we reached the CR 18 for this Shadow Dragon. All right, everyone. We've run a little over, but it was well worth the effort. You're very welcome, Vandary. Thanks for submitting again. And that's it for tonight's live stream. As I stated before in the beginning of the live stream, I'm temporarily cutting out the live stream recaps. So all of these all the monsters covered here won't be redone through the week, as I have more work to take care of at my job, more so than I normally do, and need to focus on that and not worry too much about doing these live streams and whatnot when I can, take care of that. So thank you all again for joining. It's been fantastic. Indeed, it was very creamy, Callpaw. Joe Math also said, use Resurrection, no shadows for you. Yes, indeed. Everyone take care. I'd like to thank everyone that showed up and stayed this long for the live stream. And I'm also thanking anyone that watches the live stream later on in the week or whenever they happen to come across this. You've all been awesome. Thank you so much for staying and chatting and going through all these monsters. And this is me, Andrew, asking, are your encounters even rated? Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you next time.